This week has been incredible for Xbox, and compared to all of the negative news we've seen so far this October, it's nice to get some good news within Camp Team Green. From the likes of some brand new Xbox Game Pass games being confirmed, Xbox President Sarah Bond reaffirming Xbox Next Generation, the Xbox ROG Ally also releasing, and so much more, it's been a pretty hectic and fun week for all of us Xbox fans. With that though, my name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation. If you're new here or just returning, I do cover everything from Xbox news, reviews and updates every single day, so make sure you subscribe down below to keep up to date with all things Xbox. With that, let's dive into this week on Xbox. Obviously, one of the biggest launches this week though has to be for the ROG Xbox Ally and also the ROG Xbox Ally X handhelds, as they've now been finally released to all of the public. I know many are actually still waiting for their units to get delivered, me included, but if you have been on the fence about this purchase, reviews have been going live at a variety of different outlets and creators across the web, and they're making for some pretty interesting reading and also watching. Places such as IGN and Pure Xbox have rated the devices quite highly and given both the Xbox Ally SKUs an excellent 9 out of 10, and as highlighted by Pure Xbox themselves, they basically call it a superb PC handheld with outstanding ergonomics, terrific cooling and natural feeling controls. Friend of the channel Jez Corden over at Windows Central also put out a really great review here on YouTube, you can check out that link below, and also stated that the ROG Xbox Ally X is one of the best PC handhelds that he's ever owned, and that is due to being able to play AAA games without much compromise. However, the base game is actually quite lacking, especially due to the graphical limitations, and does state it's quite hard to justify it compared to the likes of the actual Steam Deck. Overall though, it seems like a solid start for the ROG Xbox handhelds, and it does give us more of a glimpse of the route that Xbox are navigating when it comes to a sort of open ecosystem with different storefronts. It's really exciting to see how much things have progressed as well within the handheld space, even though they are certainly on the pricier side. Are you diving into the ROG Xbox Ally handheld market, or are you going to skip it for now and maybe try it out down the line? You'll have to let me know in the comments below. If you're like me, you're probably really excited for the launch of Arc Raiders at the end of this October, and with the launch just around the corner, the team at Embark have dropped some pretty big news. The team have actually opened up a portion of the experience so far for a full-scale server slam this weekend, and it's completely free on your Xbox Series X and S consoles. The Arc Raiders Server Slam goes down on the 17th to the 19th of October, and the aim is exactly how it sounds, to essentially stress test the servers ahead of that launch date. This pre-release version also includes the damn Battlegrounds map, alongside a bunch of new weapons, gear and missions, and so much more for us all to test out ahead of the game's final launch arrival on the 30th of October. I'm so incredibly hyped personally for Arc Raiders, so yes, I will be diving into it this free weekend, and I hope to see you all in Speranza. Back in July, as part of the broader layoffs at Microsoft, Rare's Everwild was cancelled after more than 5 years in the making, and personally it left me incredibly disappointed, as this was one of my most anticipated titles for this generation. Even so, in some interesting leaks this week, a whole selection of in-development screenshots have been shared online, and it really gives us an idea of what the Sea of Thieves developer was looking to build with its next game. These images are actually coming by the way of outlet MP First, who found them from the website of an artist who reportedly worked on the game. They're apparently from a version that's relatively close to its cancellation, so they're quite interesting. Of course, they do provide us with a great look at Everwild and what Rare was going for prior to the game's cancellation. The UI does remind me a little bit of the modern Zelda games, although it was actually said that the experience would be more of a survival game with shades of Viva Pinata. I'm still absolutely gutted that we will never get this game or ever see the light of day, and I do wish that Xbox didn't have to cancel so many of my favourite to-be experiences. You may have seen from my previous video as of yesterday that we got 2 brand new Xbox Game Pass announcements, and these are some awesome additions to that growing library. 1000X Resist is the first game, and it will be arriving on the 4th of November, and I know many are actually quite excited for this one. I won't lie though, I have no idea what this game is, but upon doing some research I can see that this actually won a ton of fans over with its innovative gameplay and its branching story of a future timeline where the remaining members of humanity live underground in the aftermath of an alien invasion. Over on Metacritic at the moment though, 1000X Resist does sit with an impressive 86 Metascore, while on Steam it does hold an overwhelmingly positive rating from over 4,000 reviews. It is safe to say that this one will definitely be worth checking out when it drops onto Xbox Game Pass next month. We then have Void Train, and it's arriving a couple days later on the 7th of November. And for me, this one is looking pretty incredible and has instantly piqued my own interest. This one though is actually finally launching into its 1.0 state, and it puts us in the position of an engineer that's working aboard an interdimensional express train. You'll have to do stuff like building, customizing and upgrading your train, whilst taking on enemies and exploring floating islands with loads of puzzles and dangerous fauna. To be honest, it looks pretty great, and I will try it and get a review out just prior to its launch date. There has been a lot of talk recently about the next generation of Xbox consoles and whether Microsoft might even cancel its next generation plans. Well, out of seemingly nowhere, a new walkthrough of the hardware labs does suggest that Team Green is hard at work on whatever's next for their upcoming platform. What I will do though is run a clip momentarily where Xbox President Sarah Bond takes Good Morning America on a tour of the labs and specifically mentions how it's the location for designing, prototyping and testing the next generation of Xbox consoles.
Xbox President Sarah Bond shows me their labs.
This is where the team is actually designing, prototyping, and testing for the next generation of Xbox.
For me, I was always confident that Xbox was going to make a next generation console, and the fact that rumours were taken and ran with was actually quite disappointing, to be honest. I do hope we get to see more about the next generation soon, but if you want to know more when it drops, then a subscription below is the best way to stay updated with all things Xbox. There's been a bit of buzz around a brand new game recently called Absolum, and I've actually seen quite a lot of people trying to find details about an Xbox port. Thanks to the guys over at Pure Xbox, they actually delved deeper into this one for all of us Xbox gamers. They have found out some info about a potential Xbox release date coming rather soon. If you're unfamiliar with Absolum though, this is basically a roguelike beat-em-up from Dotemu, the company behind the likes of Streets of Rage 4, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound and so many more. So far though, it's got a fantastic Metacritic average of 86 as things stand. But the unfortunate bit is that the game is on every platform except for Xbox. So you may be wondering, what is going on? Well, the answer was actually shared by a community manager over on Discord the other day, who responded to an Xbox fan with the following quote. The team behind Absolum are about as small as our in-game resistance movement. Because of the team size, as with all smaller titles, we have to prioritize here and there. It's pretty rare for us to release on every platform, and in this case, Xbox just wasn't a priority, and this is not in our plans for this title. In response to this though, and as a bit of an update since then, Dotemu, the developer behind Absolum, actually released a formal statement over to Windows Central, and is suggesting that an Xbox plan could be in the works. Their quote stated the following. Our community manager replied to community questions in good faith, but with no context of our larger company strategy. Dotemu has always had a very strong and positive relationship with Xbox and released multiple games on the platform, including this summer's Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. While no plan can be shared as of today, Xbox fans should stay tuned for some upcoming announcements. I would be curious though, would you like to see Absolum on Xbox, or is this the first time you've ever heard of this game? Do sound off below, as it really gives me more of an idea about if this game is popular or not to all of us Xbox fans. This next week on Xbox is going to be a pretty massive one for Xbox first party games, with the releases of both Ninja Gaiden 4 and The Outer Worlds 2 almost upon us. Personally, I can't wait to tell you what I think about both of these new titles, as I have been reviewing them as we speak, and I have a ton of thoughts. Of course, do stay tuned to the channel so you don't miss out on these reviews, performance comparisons and guides with a subscription down below. Even with that, Keeper has just released onto Xbox as of today, and you would have seen I put a review out regarding Double Fine's brand new IP, and it's actually pretty incredible. I have stated time and time again that this game will certainly not be for everyone's tastes. However, if you do want to check out how I scored the game, what I thought about it, and so much more, then click the link in the comment section below. I did actually put out a poll though a couple of days ago now about the upcoming games, and it seems like a lot of you are incredibly excited for the release of The Outer Worlds 2. I am curious though, would you like to see more guides and some other videos surrounding The Outer Worlds 2? Let me know, as I love getting feedback from all of you, as it really helps me shape the channel in a brand new direction. Remember as well to smash that like button if you did enjoy this video, and also subscribe for more Xbox content every single day.